Hello, citizens of YouTube. This is the Geeky Nerd here, and today we're going to be talking about pencil or thin barrels versus heavy barrels, fluted barrels, bull barrels, whatever you'd like to call them. But before I begin, I'd like to send a big thank you out to everyone who's liked, commented, and subscribed. I always appreciate it and always enjoy talking to you guys. But if you're new here to the channel, welcome. If you enjoy this video, enjoy this type of content, please consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. And with the PR out the way, let's get into it. So, pencil barrels, bull barrels, which do you prefer? Let me know down in the comments. Generally speaking, my opinion is bull or heavy barrels are generally better, with a few use cases. So, in front of us here, I have a Remington 700. It is in stainless steel, as you see, with a Nikon Buckmaster's 4-12 scope up here. Good rifle, good hunting rifle. Before Remington kind of lost their wits and started not becoming the Remington that we all know and loved. But this being one of the original ones, you can see here, it does have a pencil style profile barrel. So I guess the first question you're probably going to ask is, how do you tell a pencil barrel from a bull barrel? Well, generally speaking, sorry, it's long gun. It's 24 inches. Generally speaking, it's going to be anytime the barrel tapers from its original, from the throat of the chamber down to a thinner profile. So as you can see here, as we move along, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner until it gets right to the end. So let me, through some wizardry, without knocking over the tripod here, you can also see at the very edge of the crown, you can see that there's not a lot of barrel between the threads, or not the threads, the lands and the grooves, and the outside wall. So what does that mean? Generally, it means that your barrel is going to heat up quicker. So for a hunting rifle like this, it doesn't really matter too much, given the fact that you're only going to be making 1, 2, maximum of 3 shots before you take your prey, whatever that may be. And with that being said, you don't need to worry about accuracy going out the window, because you're going to get that first cold shot, and then you're going to get 2 follow-up shots, obviously a little bit less accurate. However, if you're doing any type of bench rest shooting or any type of competition shooting where there's repeated rounds going down range, pencil barrel isn't going to serve you well. And part of the reason for that is, of course, or the main reason for that is the heat. With the heat, or with the gun itself heating up, the metal basically becomes softer, it gets lesser tolerances, and the groups start to stray. So you may have like a sub-MOA group, and by the end of 20 rounds, you know, you're hitting a solid MOA, maybe even a little bit larger. And that obviously, no one likes having that. Additionally, is as the barrel starts heating up, you're striking a mirage effect. Now, mirage, for those of you guys that don't know, is when the heat coming off the barrel, if you ever look down along a long road, you'll see the mirage effect. It's basically heat rising, heat waves interfering with your vision, or interfering with the light as it's being transmitted to your eye. So that will happen here, because you see here, there's not too much space between the scope and your barrel. So those waves will start coming up because it's heating up and makes your target harder to see, which in turn makes you less accurate. Biggest advantage, though, to all of this, again, is for that hunting rifle scenario. With that, you know, the gun is fairly light. I believe this weighs in about 5.5 pounds, with everything included, obviously synthetic stock, but because it's not heavy, you don't fatigue as much. And again, for its purpose, it serves it well because you're taking it into the back country to take some type of game. So with that being said, let's transition here to the bull barrel. Now, this gun has not been seen on this channel before, so do a full review on this big bad sucker. I'll actually zoom out just a little bit because it is kind of a big gun, obviously. This is my Savage 110 and 308 Winchester. Yeah, that other one was in 30-06. Now, this has a bull barrel. As you can see, the barrel from where the chamber begins stays consistent all the way to the tip. Now, this is also fluted, so I'll get into those minor nuances here now. Is with a bull barrel, what are you getting? Well, you're getting more steel between the lands and the grooves, and the outside of the barrel. Now, obviously, this is not going to be too well. Let me see if I can get a flashlight so I can show you guys. There is a lot more. I don't know how well you can see it there. Well, you can surmise what I'm trying to say here is that there's a lot more meat on the bones between the outside metal and the internal and the grooves. So with that, it takes a lot longer to heat this up just by sheer thermal mass. There's a lot more metal here, so it's a lot more to heat up. So by turn, it's slower to heat up, even if you're putting a lot of rounds through it. Now, of course, that will lend itself to the accuracy piece. The barrel won't be getting as hot, so your group won't be opening up. So you can keep shooting, and maintain your accuracy that you initially shot from a cold shot. Also, the mirage effect is minimized because, again, same thing. You're lowering the amount of heat that this barrel can give off, or extending the time that it takes to give off. Now, to the downsides, because there are a few, is very heavy. This rifle with this barrel, with scope, obviously this is a bigger scope and everything, but just sheer rifle by itself weighs about 8.9, almost 9 pounds. So compared to that other gun, the Remington 700 fully loaded, you're getting there after you load everything on it. You're almost double the weight. This gun's pushing about 12 pounds now. So, you're getting significantly heavier. Now, can you take this in the woods? Sure. Can you take game with this? By all means. However, you're going to tire out carrying this because you might as well be carrying 2 of the other rifles. Now, as you can see with this kind of setup, though, this really lends itself to bench rest shooting, competition shooting, or, as a lot of people like to do or try to do, is long range shooting. Now, of course, this being a 308, you're going to realistically take it out to about 1,000 yards at its max before you start losing a little bit of accuracy. Of course, you can take it out farther, but it takes a certain type of person to be able to do that. And I'm not that person. But with the bull barrel, you're just going to maintain that accuracy. Now, one thing I didn't touch on in the kind of initial summary of this is the harmonics. A lot of people don't realize is that a gun, every time you shoot it, the barrel actually whips a little bit. So you can look at slow motion video and the barrel will actually move a little bit. The more it moves, the less accurate it can be for follow-up shots. It mainly affects semi-autos a little bit more, but still affects here just because it's that minuscule amount of time from the time the bullet is fired to where it's traveling down the barrel, and the minor nuance to where it can just move ever so slightly to, of course, minimize your accuracy. Now, that's not so much a factor with heavy or bull barrels because, again, it's just more of a rigid barrel. Now, to kind of cut weight down, especially on these type barrels, you'll see here that they have these little grooves that are going down. Now, these grooves serve 2 purposes. One, they remove a bit of the weight, so it is not too heavy. Of course, they give a little bit of aesthetic to them. You can see there, lands in the grooves, fluting. But additionally, they give you more surface area. So you have to think of this in kind of a 3-dimensional space, but when you just have a rounded receiver, you have obviously however much surface area that is. However, when you dig in here, because you're exposing more metal and because it's taking a longer distance to kind of go through, you're having more surface area that is being exposed to external temperature. So your barrel will effectively cool down faster. And that's just one nice thing that they do that both gives an aesthetically pleasing, but also helps cool down the barrel and basically keep it even more accurate than it already is. Now, with all that being said, I, again, prefer bull barrels. I generally don't mind the extra weight. If I am going for something that is going to be out in the woods, kind of backpacking, I'm going to either take something that's a lot shorter with a bull barrel, like a Remington 700 SPS, which not losing too much accuracy considering, the distance you'll be taking game at, but while still maintaining all the kind of benefits that a bull barrel offers for when I want to take a bench rest shooting. I would really reserve myself for the pencil barrels for those guys that are really going into deep woods, kind of shooting long distance, because again, you can have a longer barrel, just kind of maintain the accuracy, but still keep it light. As opposed to where a bull barrel, you kind of want to keep it short as much as you can if you want to kind of save weight. I mean, I know there's Christensen, there's a bunch of carbon fiber ones. I don't mind pencil barrels, but if it's my choice, guys, I'm going with bull barrel. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. Let me know down in the comments what you guys like, what you prefer, and why you prefer it. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a wonderful, awesome, fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.